Yeah.
I'm not arguing with you that he likes Hila Klein, that he doesn't engage in shit talking against Hila Klein. I'm not arguing that.
Everybody here thinks Hila Klein is genocidal. Step that up. They are genocidal.
Sure. Genocidal in that she supports the state of Israel existing, and Israel will not exist without enforcing their apartheid.
What is Hassan's opinion of people who are propagating the genocide? What does he think should happen to them?
They're not fit to be dog catchers. They're not fit for any elected office.
Oh, come the fuck on, dude. Dude, this guy, he's so blatantly bad. Oh, because they're not fit to be dog catchers, that's it? What is the context we're talking about this right now? What is the context of what we're talking about right now? Dude, it's bad faith, okay? It's just bad faith. Okay, that's what it is, okay?
Yeah, and then off of that, great. What does that? They're not fit. They should be excised from all of society. And then when we're talking about in the context of this person's backdrop against valid military targets, do you think that there's a reasonable interpretation that, oh yeah, some people might view this person as a valid military target?
No. Because it obviously is downstream of this context.
And we're operating off of entirely different. I think if you spend every waking...
No, you're not operating off of entirely different frameworks or something, right? It's that... Fuck. And I wish Ahrelevant would call him out on this, okay? He's being bad faith. This is bad faith. It's bad faith. It's literally fucking blatant lying. It's lying. This motherfucker Jstlk, he's lying. He's lying. He's lying, okay? I know it. You know it. We all know it, okay?
Moment of your fucking ability to shit on other people, saying that people like this don't deserve to be in civil society, and then when it comes time to talk about people who deserve to be killed, sorry, not just ought to be killed, his argument was that it's morally just.
By the way, the entire, just to be clear, you keep hyperbolizing this. The argument is when these people are engaging in offensive operations in the West Bank or Gaza, they are valid targets for violence.
No, to be clear, he said it's morally good. They ought to be killed. He said it's morally good. It's a good thing.
Morally good for them to defend themselves, yes. In the West Bank and the Gaza Strip.
So it is morally good for them to kill these people. So that's what I was saying. It is morally good.
When they're engaged in offensive military operations in the Gaza Strip or the West Bank. You're never going to not be able to include that because it is literally explicit or implicit through this entire clip.
Relevant. The reason why that's not relevant is because he's putting the backdrop of somebody that has connection to it when their people inside of his audience believe that this person is morally impunable up to this day for that same action. So the problem is you have a person who him and his audience have been pushing is a pro-genocidal maniac who is unfit for civil society, and your clever idea is to take actual people that you're saying are morally good to be killed and put that person...
He should have said that's irrelevant.
Yes. In direct connection with them with no actual argument. There's no merit to the argument that he's making, and I refuse this idea. He's talking about the uniforms, or he's talking about like this passing. This is ridiculous.
He's literally saying that the whole time. He's literally saying that the whole time.
He's not. If I went back, he's not talking about the uniforms. He's making a like level one take. He's talking about that. He's doing that the whole time. Thing. We can go over it. He's making the level one take of, yeah, bad things are happening in the West Bank, bad things are happening in Gaza, and therefore, because the IDF and the settlers are doing it, they're valid.
I was gonna ask if Jstlk's viewers even know that he's being bad faith right now. There's no shot they don't know, right?
Military targets, which is true. He's doing that. He's not doing any deeper analysis, though.
Do you disagree that he is also talking about why people allow this, why people aren't more outraged about it? In the context of the people on the Palestinian side look like terrorists, and the people on the very end.
People in the West Bank is morally good for defending themselves from Hila, who was the secretary in the car, yet they don't understand the defense of doxing. Yes, exactly. Okay, sorry.
Israeli side looked justified. Okay, we'll just listen. We'll keep listening.
It's like
here, let me pull it back so I make sure I don't miss anything.
Is literally legal. Okay, it is legal resistance against an occupying military force. I cannot repeat this enough. Just like any kind of violence, any kind of violence that the Israeli occupying force experiences in the Gaza Strip is actually, once again, totally legal and totally moral resistance by the Palestinians. Doesn't matter if they're the Al-Aqsa Brigade.
Do we disagree with any of this yet? That any kind of violence that is against illegal settlers or military or the IDF, any kind of violence that illegal settlers or military experience in the West Bank is legal. And then the same statement, any kind of violence that the IDF experiences in Gaza is totally legal and totally moral resistance. Do we disagree with those two statements?
Say that within reason, yeah. I mean, you could argue like prisoner of war shit or something, but within, like, I'm not going to get nitpicky.
Okay.
Doesn't matter if they're a part of the Palestinian Islamic Jihad. Doesn't matter if they're DFLP, PFLP, or even former Fatah militants. Okay.
So he's saying right there, do you know what he's saying there?
Doesn't matter if they're former members of like various different like resistance groups.
Now, why would he make that differentiation? Why would he say it doesn't matter if they're like former terrorists?
Because he's arguing that any group of people that participate in armed resistance is justified in doing it. Very clear. It's very obvious.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Perfect. Yeah. Exactly. Yep. Because any resistance is morally justified. Okay.
Okay. It is perfectly legal, perfectly valid, and perfectly moral. Okay. 100%. This is not
moral resistance, by the way, is what he's included in one of these. I am going to give him resistance on each of these. Like, this is, to me, it's saying resistance from the occupation, right? In these territories that they control, you are allowed to resist.
Oh, sorry. Somebody just linked me. Will no one rid me of this turbulent priest? Yes, exactly. It's literally exactly that.
Like a black and this is not a gray area.
I don't agree with this. Because his audience, do you disagree that his audience interprets resistance as including resistance against like support for the Israeli state?
No. And that's totally outside of this. It's totally outside of this hypothetical because he is clearly talking only about the West Bank and
I wonder if Jstlk really wants Hassan to funnel Hassan's audience towards him. I wonder if that's actually what's happening. Like, I genuinely wonder, right? Does that make sense? I have always loved FTR and thought I finished it, but I saw you recommend Multiverse and holy, it is so good. Thanks for that. Of course, I'm glad to introduce another person to Multiverse. Also, check out the Multiverse add-ons, okay? There's over 100 ships for you to unlock. Good luck.
In the Gaza Strip, in the context of watching a documentary on armed...
Dude, Jstlk's audience is probably stagnated. You can only listen to the same shit day in, day out. Yeah, exactly. You can't... I mean, it's like Destiny said, right? You can't build an audience based off of hatred, right? But also another thing, right, is just like... It feels as though they're so desperate to the point where they're even trying to draw my attention, right? The reason probably why he wants to debate with me is probably because he wants, I don't know, maybe he wants Destiny to review it, or maybe he wants like someone else to see it, or something like some other reason, right? Like he's just very desperate. Okay, he's just extremely desperate, and this is like the main issue that he's concerned with these days. Okay, just FYI, this is like his top issue. Yeah.
Settlers and segregation inside the West Bank.
Hold on, I understand he is talking about this. I understand that he is talking about this. What I'm stating to you is that resistance amongst his audience is not exclusively to do with inside of Gaza or the West Bank. That's what I'm stating. Is that resistance is not exclusively set to that parameter. That they believe resisting the apartheid, resisting the genocide is a global effort that must be undergone.
So I totally agree that some portion of his audience believes that. Do you think it's
I think every single person in his audience that agrees with him on Palestine agrees with that. Say again?
Do you think it's incumbent on Hassan to say, actually, I don't mean that you could do anything to any of these people? Because he is clearly arguing this. And you think because of his 100%. Audience, because his audience believes this, he has to go and actually say things that are like totally outside of his perception?
Don't jinx it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. If I'm having a conversation about how resistance to the IDF, resistance to the state of Israel or the Israel's occupation and genocidal conduct inside of Gaza, if I'm stating that these people who are putting pressure onto these areas are valid military targets, I need to specify, if I was in Hassan's shoes, I need to specify that I'm talking explicitly and exclusively about the individuals who are actively participating.
So I'm saying, you've already agreed with me that he is explicitly talking exclusively about this. We've agreed on that. You're saying the action that people in his audience won't believe that.
On the deductive merits, but if we're talking about the interpretation that like his audience or the people watching him can easily walk away with, no, I think this is an entirely separate idea. I can be charitable to any human
his
being
audience's
alive. I can
misunderstandings
Hitler,
of his speech.
I am
on
going
him.
to be charitable to this guy in this moment, but that comes from charity. That does not come from listening to what he says.
So even though we both clearly
Exactly. And here's the thing. Hassan doesn't have a good rapport of this stuff, right? It's coming from Hassan. Hassan isn't just a stranger. If a stranger said this, we would assume that they made a mistake, right? If a stranger said this, we would assume that they have made a mistake, right? But the thing is, and the reality of the situation is that when it comes to Hassan, he's a deliberate liar, bad faith actor, and he is somebody who enables his orbiters making violent threats towards actual streamers, okay? In that case, what do you think it is? What do you think is the argument here, right? Obviously, this is someone who has been in the business for such a long time, right? What do you think is going on here? Of course, he's actually, like, unironically calling for, like, the violence. Anyway, yeah, it's just, I don't even know why I'm explaining this. It's so stupid. How can you mind read Hassan like that? I don't know. I'm being, clearly I'm being bad faith, okay?
agree that he is not labeling Hila Klein a valid target here. Right? We both agree that he is
I've
clearly
said that
not.
since the beginning. I do not believe
I know.
argument
I'm
he is making.
I'm not only saying that now. I agree with you. You said it from the beginning.
Yes.
I'm just laying it out for people that you agree. So we only disagree on like what his burden is with regards to his audience to double down or triple down or quadruple down on saying, now this is only in the West Bank or Gaza. This is only in the West Bank or Gaza. That's what we disagree on. Because I think he's already made it clear. Okay, go. Sorry, I don't want to cut you.
And a large part of my argument is going to be predicated on the idea that he is obfuscating what he's talking about by bringing up somebody who is not currently in Israel, not currently in Gaza, not currently in the West Bank. They're in fucking California. They have no support for anybody in the West Bank, or sorry, any of Israel's operations in the West Bank, to my knowledge. Somebody again, correct me if I'm wrong. They have no support for the annexing of all of Gaza. Again, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I truly, if I'm wrong, that could change my entire perspective on this. But between those two things, he is bringing up somebody who has no connection to the point he's making. The point he is making is that these are monsters who are justifying and participating in this annexation.
No, just not just annexation, right? Because if it's just annexation, maybe people feel like they wouldn't have to go that far, all right? No, he's saying genocide, okay? Remember, the reason why they call it a genocide is because they can literally justify any action, right?
A martini, shaken, not stirred.
Hey, Tofu, thank you so much for the one Australian. Thank you so much, buddy, okay? But again, all right, you're arguing it through the frames of a genocide, right? Which is the worst of all, worst of whatever. It can't get any more worse than that, right? Yeah, anyway.
And then he brings up somebody who's neither participating nor justifying what's going on in these areas.
And that could possibly be totally true if there was not the secondary point here. Sure, that would only be true if he wasn't making his secondary point here, which is why he brings up the former terrorists and says it doesn't matter who's participating in resistance on the Palestinian side, because he's saying it doesn't matter how bad they are. It doesn't matter what their reputation is. They could be the most morally black actors in the world. If they're engaging in resistance
well, why do they have to be black?
Within the Gaza Strip or the West Bank, they are morally good in that case. That is a morally good action, even if they are morally black people, even if they're evil. Okay?
Okay. Okay, the way you say black is a little bit sus, okay? I'm just saying.
That's what he's saying. That's what this point is making about the terrorists.
And so the converse of
that is even the most morally good, even the most innocent of people participating in these operations on the IDF side is still a target.
I'm sorry, listen, bro, I love you.
That is absolutely what he's saying here.
No. You're telling me that the reason why Hassan brought up Hila Klein is to say, well, even the most morally good people like Hila Klein, if she participates in this,
the least
okay,
evil.
No. He believes she is a pro-genocidal monster. He would never bring her up as an example of somebody who's clean.
Yeah, he thinks like basically everybody who's left of like the 99th percentile leftist in anybody who's right of that in Israel is like a genocidal monster, right?
What?
Do you think Hassan thinks that Hila Klein is, you know, better if you were to put her in the population of the Israelis? Like, how good would she be versus the rest of the Israelis? Do you think he would think she's like a really evil Israeli or a really good Israeli, relatively?
No, I'm not sure what the fuck this has to do with anything, but if I had to guess, I'd say maybe based on his rhetoric, based on what he says or what he actually believes?
Based on what he says, because I can't mind read this guy.
Oh, then yeah.
I don't know why you differentiate between the two. It
She's
feels
the
like
same,
a good way
but
to like
worse
get
because she
off.
has a platform. She's the same, but worse because she has a platform.
Okay. I think Hassan believes that all of these people, like anybody who is not like actively protesting against the government right now, is genocidal, right? They're supporting an apartheid state. They are literally ethnically cleansing and starving to death.
Yeah, but he would consider somebody like Hila Klein worse because she has a podcast where, according to all of his rhetoric, she is spewing pro-genocide rhetoric because he's deranged. He has no idea of reality.
Yeah.
He'd 100% say Hila Klein is worse than some random Israeli who just like goes to their 9 to 5, who's an accountant.
I'm talking about like his read of her beliefs, like what she would be doing if she was in the IDF right now. Whoops, I just skipped forward. Fuck.
Okay, I'm talking about her as a person. He views her as, and more specifically, he speaks of her as if she's like a walking demon. That's the way that he speaks of her.
He's talking about people who are getting like actively raided and actively like violence is being done to them in the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. Hila Klein was the secretary for the commander of raids into Ramallah, right? We both agree on that?
I'll take your word for it. I don't know what her position was.
She was.
I'll just take
literally watched the clip earlier, but we literally watched the clip earlier. That is the connection.
Wait,
we both agree that that is a reasonable connection, right? To say that, hey, there's somebody I know who's like popular. There's probably the person people would most identify with. No, I don't believe that's a reasonable
connection. No, I don't think so. No. Let's say that Sam Cedar was in the IDF. Do you think he would have brought up Sam Cedar? Why do you think he brought her up?
Yes, I think he would have brought up Sam Cedar.
Okay, that's
If Sam Cedar was entering the West Bank as a part of a military operation for the IDF, he would be a valid target. Yes, 100%. That's so easy. That's so fucking easy.
He would have brought up
yes, we do live in totally different realities. If Sam Cedar was a part of the IDF and he entered...
Stop. He wouldn't have brought up Sam Cedar in 1,000 years. He would have brought 1,000 years. He's busy slurping that cum of Sam, okay? He's like licking. He's like moving his tongue in between the wrinkles of Sam's balls, okay? All right, when remember when Hassan glazed Sam? No, he would never bring up Sam in this context. Are you fucking kidding me? Of course. Do you know why? Because Sam is no woman, okay?
The West Bank is a part of a military operation for the IDF. He would be a valid target of violence. Absolutely, yes.
Oh, he would.
Oh my God!
I'm not.
That's the easiest. Thank you so much for giving me this. Thank you.
Maybe there's a disconnection going on here. I'm not saying that when challenged, and if you can find anybody who could get in a room with this guy to challenge him, if he didn't immediately try and leave that room and call you like a baby killer, right?
Oh yeah, by the way, while Hassan and Sam Cedar are having sex, Jstlk is just sitting in the corner with his legs crossed like this. Okay.
Somebody could get into a room and challenge him and say, hey, if Sam Cedar was in the IDF with this, would he invoke
you guys are
Sam Cedar? No. What is the motives for him invoking Hila Klein? He would not have a similar motive
because
to invoke Sam Cedar.
Has gone on a raid, and he's simultaneously making the point and shitting on her. Yes. He's simultaneously making the point.
So you believe
and shitting on her.
So let's say a reality. Let's just get this hard down. If Hila Klein in the reality did not serve in the IDF and Sam Cedar did, you believe he would have brought up Sam Cedar in this context?
Yes. 100%.
Wait, hold on. Firefox just crashed. Give me a second. My bad. Restore session. Go. My bad, guys. My bad, buddies. What can I say?
I think that's wild. Or like anytime he
communism, you understand in one of those
was arguing that somebody they knew was raped in captivity, right? They're in this video.
To him, that people like Ethan and Hila Klein are aiding the Israeli. No,
why would
in the context of people who are currently in the manner that he's criticizing it, and he does this. She's not even in the region. It's not relevant.
She doesn't have to be in the region. He literally says it was in the past. He literally says it in the past tense.
Much, okay?
Yeah, I understand. My point is that bringing up a past tense situation isn't relevant. It's not relevant to this conversation. He's very obviously
relevant
just
to this
bringing her up
conversation.
so he can get a dig at her.
She literally participated in the exact thing he's criticizing. And it's funny for him to bring that up to his chat, because fuck that person. Her husband's basically calling me a pedophile right now.
Huh?
Just a drink.
Like
Martini, shaken, not stirred.
Late night streams attacking the leftist grift. I approve.
Hey, thank you, KC64. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for $10, buddy. I love you. I love my viewers. Guys, donate more money. Thank you. Also, please at least like the stream, okay? I love shitting on Jstlk. You should love it too, okay? I love you guys. Please consider donating. Thank you.
what?
I'm
not sure what any of this has to do with the argument.
Okay.
That he's talking shit to Hila Klein because of them consistently talking shit about him, right? Making multiple podcasts about him.
I have no issue with him talking shit. What I have an issue with is him making a statement that very obviously implies to his audience that she's of a similar moral caliber to people who could be actively killed.
Okay, but they can only be actively killed when they're engaging in a certain context, right?
Where does he say that? Where does he say that? Because in a
literally point 1 and point 2 that you totally agreed with me on. Literally point 1
okay,
and point 2, they can only be actively killed when they're engaged.
He's talking about people who are actively engaged in military actions. And then he brings up somebody who is not engaged in any military action, who condemns the military action, and is fucking on a different hemisphere, bro. And you're just, oh yeah, no. What? No, the argument breaks down.
Anybody who wants to debate Jstlk right now, listen to me, okay? This is the easiest dub of your life, okay? If you debate Jstlk on this, you will win, okay? You just have to stick to the points and not get flabbergasted, okay? All right. I'm just saying, okay? This is like, you will get the easy. He is still streaming, okay? I'm just saying.
I agree.
It doesn't break down. It doesn't break down. It's all within this context.
Obviously, do not brigade him, okay? No brigading. I'm against brigading. Okay, no brigading. All right, if I see you brigading, you're out. Okay. However, okay, I'm just saying. Anybody trying to Jstlk on this? This is the easiest debate of your life. Okay.
Yeah, stuff like this. Yes, anybody engaged in the current military action, and then he randomly brings up somebody that is not engaged in the current military action. If you want to do that, what he would say was he would have to say.
Does he confirm both before and after that it is?
Did Destiny Radio? Wait, aren't you supposed to be touching grass? The fuck? The Destiny Radio, I saw you had 600 views earlier. Destiny rated me yesterday, and now he rated me again 2 days in a row, okay? It might be a regular thing at this point. Who knows?
Only people who are actively engaged?
What?
Hold on, did you just say someone who's never engaged in any military action? She has engaged in a military action.
No. Let me get my point on. We're talking about
look, I just don't want my community to have a bad rep, okay? That's what I'm saying.
Him having a discussion about current contextual military action. That's what this conversation is about. It's about anybody who is engaged in this military action is justified.
Hold on. This is why I'm saying there is a secondary point here that's absolutely happening, whether or not you guys want to accept this or not, that where he is also talking about how this has been acceptable for so long. And it has to do with how the Israeli army is organized and how the Palestinians are like a ragtag group of terrorists. It absolutely has to do with that fucking context.
Oh, hold
That's
on.
why he brings up that it doesn't matter if they're
my
literally former
unplugged.
terrorists. Sure.
Like, you could say that's a part of the argument is that context. You could say that's a part of the argument. I do not believe he sufficiently, and I would say it's self-evident by his chat and how his community took it. There is not sufficient context.
I'm going to reject on its face that you can base somebody's opinion on how a chat talks about them, okay? Or talks about what their opinion was.
Shaken, not stirred.
It can't be a regular thing without enough money to hang on.
Aka, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $5. Thank you so much, buddy. I love you, okay? Thank you.
We've rejected this so many times in the past for so many different streamers.
Our disagreement isn't about his opinion. I don't believe that his intent was to call for her death. That's not my opinion. I don't believe that's his intent. My argument
Already have a bad rep. I can't even tell people I'm a Foodshops viewer without getting bullied. We just have to outgrow them, okay?
is that his audience is going to say, after that point, Hila Klein is of a similar moral caliber to the people who are actively engaged in Gaza and in the West Bank. And it seems as though his audience agrees with my interpretation of how they would probably take it.
Okay, I'm not disagreeing. I'm not even making. I'm not making a comment. I'm not making a comment on how his audience receives it, right?
Huh?
I don't care about. I don't give a shit about how his audience receives it. I literally
well,
don't
then you
care
don't
at all.
care about the conversation. Can you tell me what every single person's criticism is? Every single person's criticism.
They're saying that he is saying it's legal to kill people in California.
Okay.
In terms of viewership, they're saying it's legal to kill Hila Klein in the state of California. That's what Asmongold and Tectone both said. This was arguing.
The problem isn't whether or not Hassan.
Wait, who has the bigger audience? Asmongold or Tectone?
Are going to interpret
Asmongold
this
or
way.
Hassan?
I think it's justified to do it. Do you think Asmon thinks Hassan is going to take like a fucking Glock and go to Hila Klein's house?
No.
He
literally said you should report this guy to the FBI. You should report this guy to the FBI because he's just said it's legal to kill Hila Klein right now. That's what he said.
Yes. Nobody. Do you think Asmon thinks that Hassan himself is going to take a gun and do that? Do you think that's what he meant when he said that?
No, he's just calling out into the ether. But hold on. He's saying Hassan himself said that. Yes, he is saying Hassan himself said that. Just be clear, he's saying Hassan himself said that.
No.
Do we have to go watch it so we can figure out what Asmongold is saying? Because Asmongold is 100% saying that Hassan said it's legal and justified to kill Hila Klein.
Very simple English. I'm going to put this out in very simple English, and we're going to see if we agree or disagree on this. The issue that people have with Hassan's statement is that people will interpret it as justification to say Hila Klein is a valid target
No.
Yes, it is.
Why would it be no, dude? No, literally nobody. I don't even think people from Hassan's audience agrees with Jstlk. Like, how many people is saying this? Like, literally point to one person. IRL, okay, from a normie perspective that is actually saying this unironically. This is insane. Like, this is, I'm sorry, this is, you can't justify, like, dude, I'm sorry, but Jstlk is literally defending a call to violence, like an active call. He's defending it. He's defending an active, this is like actually insane to me. Like, he's God, I can't believe I ever allow these people to fucking virtue signal about doxing and Destiny doxing. Dude, fucking hell. Dude, like, these people are the kinds of people virtue signal about swatting, right? You have someone's personal information, you swat them. Like, they virtue signal about that. And then now, like, they're fucking, like, defending Hassan on this? Dude.
That is just true.
No. Asmongold literally says outright, this is direct calls to violence. He's saying it's legal and morally.
He is trying to be a contrarian on purpose. Yes, that's what I'm suspecting. I'm suspecting that Jstlk is basically he's just trying to get attention from Hassan, right? He's trying to get Hassan to pull him up on stream so that he can actually get Hassan's audience to go to Jstlk. I think that's what's actually going on. Yes.
Good to go kill Hila Klein right
now.
To
who, Jstlk? To who? To who is it calls to violence to? To who? The audience. The audience.
Everyone.
To who?
But it's about what Hassan's saying. That's what he's criticizing.
Yes, he is saying.
Like this is so beyond the pale. Just FYI, okay? Just FYI, okay? Jstlk is someone who is literally a Hassan hater when he still had the Bridge of Destiny. When he still had the Bridge of Destiny, he was a Hassan hater, conveniently enough, I guess, because he was like, yeah. But now suddenly he switched sides. Like, why? The fuck? He's a fucking grifter, is what he is.
Saying stuff that is reasonably interpretable as saying Hila
No, it's
Klein
not.
is the moral
It's not.
equivalent of
It is straight up not.
military
It's not in any way. It's not in any way.
Yes.
We both agreed. So you are arguing that retards could say, "Oh well, Hila Klein bad, so we can kill Hila Klein."
The entire audience is retarded, and you agree. Yes. When you cultivate a retarded audience, and then you say something.
Bro. Dude, hello? Hello, Ahrelevant? Ahrelevant W? Hello? Ahrelevant W? Yes, call out his audience. Yes, his audience. Yeah.
We apparently just bowed at what the audience thinks now. The audience makes jokes, right?
Dude,
every streamer, every content creator is beholden to their audience. If their audience thinks something, if you can create the perception that their audience thinks something, then you get to go and punish them for it. Makes sense, I guess.
Yes, if you hey.
Oh my god, and then we have like these fucking anti-fans going like Hassan derangement syndrome. Dude, you can't make this up. Like, these people are of the same type. They are of the same breed. They came from the same clone vat, okay? They came from the same vat of primordial soup to make the clones of deranged, like dude, fuck me, dude. Why can't more anti-fans be like Ahrelevant, okay? You don't like Destiny anymore because of what he's done. That's fine, but you don't have to like go against them. God, okay, you know what this is? This is like every single rebellious teenager's like first anti-father, anti-parent phase, okay? I have to be unlike my father in literally every single possible way. Their daddy or former Destiny is Destiny, by the way, okay? That's actually what's going on. Again, I think what's going on is that they're going through a teenager rebellious phase.
If you're farming retarded,
they're like 30, by the way.
Audience, and then you say something retarded to them that can be interpreted as "go fucking smack this chick." Yes, you're responsible. Yes, that's the
I don't think it can be reasonably interpreted this way. Okay, so what is Dan saying? Hold on, what is Dan saying? Let's see what Dan's saying. Here's the high quality edit of Hassan wishing for Hila's death, by the way. Do you think that framing is accurate?
What?
This is Dan.
Here is a high quality edit of Hassan wishing for Hila's death. No, I don't agree that Hassan is wishing for their death.
Okay, so that's what people are saying.
No.
Is this saying that Hassan's audience sees his totally not calling for Hila's death as him calling for the death, or is Dan saying here that Hassan is directly calling for the death?
That isn't people's worry. People's worry. I agree that people think that this is a direct one-to-one go snipe this person. I don't agree with that. My argument, which is what they're scared of, they're not worried about the words. The problem is you're saying, oh, because Hassan said this, nobody would care. Guess what? I promise you, Dan Saltman would not care if Hassan said this in the shower. He would not give a fuck, okay? The reason why anybody is worried about this is because he said it live in front of people who could interpret their words as a death wish.
Nobody else on the entire internet
that is the reason why they're worried.
This opinion on like level of audience culpability, like creator audience culpability.
That is such bullshit, man. What are you talking about?
That your chat goes and says Hila in the chat, and now that's proof that Hassan was calling for her death, or that people think he's calling for her death. Because they say the same thing they say whenever Jstlk Klein's brought up in any context. I guarantee you, we go find any time Jstlk Klein's brought up in any context, do you think they spam the same words or not?
What? What do you, those same words is what?
When he brings up Jstlk Klein in any context, do you think they spam the same thing? Baby killing Klein, genocidal Hila? Do you think they spam all those same words or not?
Over a period of time, yeah, it didn't start that way, but he cultivated the audience to believe that she was like pro-genocide.
You know how AI constantly like self-replicates in a way where it's unable to come up with new things, so it's taking other AI pictures and other AI like stuff, and then it's just constantly going off of false information to create answers or something. You know that worry? Like, this is literally what the anti-fans are, right? Like, they literally create like this false reality, and then they believe it, and then they self-perpetuate the ideas, right? Like, that's what's going on.
It's just him? Do you think that's just him? You don't think there's any culpability for Ethan and his audience constantly building up this cycle? You don't think there's any culpability on both sides at all?
There's maybe a little bit. If you ask my honest opinion, I 100% am Team Ethan. I think it is. I think the idea that I don't think you walk upright if you are in any way supportive of Hassan on this issue.
He's basically saying that Jstlk is missing a few chromosomes, okay?
I would say that the way the chat reacted would have happened no matter what, if he mentioned Hila in any context. So the idea that we're using the chat reaction to signal the fact that he was calling for her death somehow, you're using the chat as an example, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, because it totally defeats this point. Yeah, they hate fucking Hila.
Yes.
That doesn't mean they're going to try to kill her.
What do you think? Speech like
we
this,
agree, right? Just because they hate Hila and they talk shit about her does not mean they want to kill her, right?
Speech like this has on them. Do you think that they're going to have a higher or lower opinion of her as a result of speech like this?
Lower opinion? Sure.
Okay. Yeah, they will. So I don't know why you're using this as an argument. Well,
why does that mean that he was calling for her death, or that they interpreted it as him
like
calling for her death?
Person
okay,
for like
now explain to me
fucking what, over a year?
Explain to me why him lowering their opinion of her slightly is because of him calling for her death, or their perception that he's calling for their death.
The whole point of this is it's not slight. The whole point of this is that it's not a slight reduction. This is
I'm arguing, and we can go find clips of this, okay?
Justified to kill.
We can go find clips of this, but I'm arguing that anytime he brings Hila up, you get the same chat reaction.
The problem, the issue isn't.
You agree with this? You agree with that, right? Yes or no? Do you agree with that? Do you agree with that? That the chat would say that?
I mean, not in every single context, but in most contexts, sure. The issue isn't. So
I actually have to do one more thing here, just really quickly, please.
I'm sorry, bro. I already answered.
I know, but it's really important. You told me the main reason you knew that they think he's calling for her death is because of their chat reaction.
No,
and now
I
you
didn't.
just told me that they'd respond that way in any context.
Intentionally, or are you doing this on accident? I honestly can't tell. I'm not saying.
So when I asked you, why do you think his chat's calling for the death?
The reason we know that he's calling for her death is because of that reaction. I never said that. In fact, I said the opposite. What I'm saying is that it is clear that they are honing in on her as a morally egregious actor by spamming that when she is brought up. That is my point. It's not that they're ingesting it as like, oh, this is just an example to be able to make a greater point that he's trying to make. It's that they're explicitly using this as ammo to further go harder against her, against the backdrop of a list of people he thinks it's morally justified to kill. That's my point. And I think it is very reasonably interpretable that he is saying that they're on the same level. And especially because it sounds like we had a principal disagreement here, which is really, really different and really, really weird to me, which is if you farm a retarded audience who are hair triggered to violent action and shit like it, especially in a context of a time in which violent action against this group that is labeled pro-genocide is not uncommon. Okay.
Wait. Hold on. What violent action is Hassan's audience taking? No. What violent action? You have to explain what violent action Hassan's audience is taking. No. Don't proceed until you've done that. No, don't proceed until you say what violent action they're taking in a certain context, right?
Where does he say that? Where does he say that?
Because in a cover. Point 1 and point 2 that you totally agree with me on. Point 1 and point 2, they can only be actively killed when they're engaged.
He's talking about people who are actively engaged in military actions, and then he brings up somebody who is not engaged in any military action, who condemns the military action.
Bro, that was like a fucking nightmare blunt rotation. That was like a fucking high-pitched fever dream is what it was.
Jesus Christ. Hello? Holy shit. I had to close so many tabs to figure out what was going on. Holy shit. I think I just lost a whole bunch of what you were saying. I had like some tab just started auto-playing music when I sat down for some reason. Me. Jesus Christ! Holy shit. So what violent action has anyone in Hassan's audience taken?
What?
Inspirational advice? Oh, whatever.
I never said
Hassan. You said a group that's on a hair trigger for violent action.
I'll grant that maybe I misspoke, but I can't tell if you're just not listening to me. It's that the group what I said is that against a group of people who have had consistent violent action against them, which is the people who are labeled as pro-genocide.